Greetings and welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. I have a card reading for you today, and it's quite interesting what came up for today. I heard many times people telling that something really powerful will happen in August. Uh, we have a little bit of problem with the months, um, and also August 8, all this 8-8 stuff, Lion Gate, which actually all not true. Because in fact, when we look at the moon cycles, there are 13 in a year. So when people talk about the 8 months and the number eight and put some stuff together with the numbers, so it's very often not correct. But when I look at that, because it's actually further, because the blow your mind card significant is oh gosh, I cannot even talk anymore, is significant for end of something, that something is blowing up, that a cycle is finished, that the energy that has been held back cannot be held back anymore. So in a human life, this can be many things. It can be a literal explosion of like somebody has held back anger for a very long time, and now comes the moment that person cannot hold it back anymore. It come out, and if it's not coming out in an outburst, it will be some outbreak of an illness or something. And very often also we can see that in the skin, that some outbreaks that's what in the puberty, when the child become an adult in this transformation time, we can see often that some young people have um, unclear skin and something is breaking through. And this is very significant for those who have been suppressed and been the good children, or they were allowed to do this and that. And so the body has to react. And in a way, when we look at that card, this is also a body reacting, flowing up here in the mind. Is on that fire cloud is a brain. And this is the meaning of this, is that our brainwashed brain is kind of blowing up. A lot of has happened already in the time to kind of come up to this, that, a lot of information came out that we never ever would have been thinking to be true 10, 20, whatever years ago, depending on when people start to wake up and start see that there is much more than we are told. So this is coming out. You see that is looking like a mushroom, like an atomic bomb that explodes here, that blows up the mind of the human being. And in that way, what, once you have seen, you cannot unsee anymore. Of course, you can suppress things, but they are somewhere at the border of conscious and unconscious. They are always still there. And I really like the message of this card very much because it's very powerful. This is like, from the bottom, you can see that this is the stem of a water pipe. That is a smoking bowl emerges out of like exploding like this atomic bomb. And the penetration of that power is literally blowing up our mind program. So the human brain is kind of projected out of the human body, like like really literally an atomic bomb that is like exploding in the air, and it's dissolving everything around it in the heat. And this shows the nature of the mind of, our mind is not really especially right now, it's not really anymore ours. Our thoughts are not really ours because we are functioning like a program. Imagine a radio. The easiest way to explain is like the radio itself is just a gadget. But the moment that we tune into a certain station, certain information is coming through. And this is similar like for our brain, depending on what station you kind of docked on, that information stays with you. And when I talk about these different stations, so we can say the people who still give their power away to outside authorities, they are kind of docked on those stations, say government or whatever, religion, whatever, brainwash. But then when people wake up, they start to kind of dial that switch and start to more and more reconnect with the inner self, with the divine self, with the true self. And this is what we find in the next card when we see the centering, the presence. Now, once we let everything outside away and let it happen, and we are present in the now, we are present, you can also say in our heart, which is the center of the actually inborn three centers that we have. We don't need to open or close anything, but this is the heart. And then we have a center in the head and a center in the belly area. And when you put them together, this gives a number 8 as infinity symbol. These are the three brains, the heart brain, the what we call brain, and then we have the gut brain. And this is connected with intuition, with the heart knowing. And this is the thinking brain that is the vessel that can be programmed from outside, which the gut cannot and the heart cannot either. So this is kind of the vulnerable spot of being human. So once we find out, we center ourselves in the present, we are quiet. And this is why meditation also came up for many people, that this is the process of centering himself. And meditation, actually the word medi means center, comes from the like going back in German or other root is Mitte, medi is center. So when we come from our center, then the energies are going out in all direction, and this is meant that is the heart brain. So when we come out, you can see actually that it expands in both direction, up and down. And we can say like this would represent the brain, and this would represent the gut brain, and this is the heart. So it all comes together inside of our heart to this presence. There is the kind of, you see that kind of rock in the background. There is nothing in the background. We take all that outside, we take all the stages away, and we focus only on ourselves. And that will be the key for us to just passing through. And this is what is happening. The moment our brain can blow up, the moment we experience that breaking of our also the walls that we have built around us, for protection. Yes. And that's right. But, the protection is also a prison. And you can see that unfolding in the outside, that they try to protect us with all kind of digital IDs and all kind of stuff that is implemented now. So, but we have here, but once we go through that process, you see that wing, that is the symbol of the bird that is passing through. That's also a symbol of the soul that is passing through. And it also means that as a human being, we are passing through physical life, we are passing through experience to be human. And we are meant to be human, we are meant to have all these experiences. Until now, when the false matrix is breaking down, we need to let go of these habits, of these brainwash that was part of the false matrix. and fly again. You know, when you are on top of a mountain, then you see down, you see a lot more than when you're down in the valley. Or imagine you're flying literally like a bird. You can see the whole picture, the bigger picture, not as we, like when I go out, I see just what is very close to me, a few meters in a way, feel like. So that is what gives us the wing to move through, to pass through this chaos, to pass through all what happened. It when we are centering within our heart brain. Now, I was asking an additional question when I got these cards. When we are passing through, where are we going and what is happening? And I show this card to you. This is self-preservation, which is that priestess. That is the symbol of the priestess. And what does that mean? Now, when we have come from somewhere, and you know, all the moment that the baby is born and take the first breath, there is the life active in that baby. Of course, it was in the womb already, but let's just use now for the sample the moment of birth. So we have moved that what comes into this body is actually that life energy, that soul energy that I have explained also in my last video. You can go back to this one and have a look. So this is what is happening now. You know, we came all from a divine source, and we are all here because we have agreed to go down, 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 down into that lowest level of experience, to bring back that experience to our divine self. It was not a punishment or whatever, it was an adventure. And then it was in the beginning like this, and there was quite an enlightened society. But then some, let's just use this cliche in a way, some dark souls or whatever you want to call it took over, and the earth agreed that she will host that dark matrix. And this is also one reason why we wanted to go through it, to experience what darkness is, to experience, to go really down there and to rise again from the deepest dark that is possible. And that's where we went. But at that time, when we went down, we had to preserve our divine knowledge. We had to preserve the divine within, and in the form of the priestess. And I'm not talking about men or women, it can be also the priest, of course. That is that knowledge that we have inside, that knowledge who we truly are, has been kind of buried in the sand. You see the sandstorm and the sand and the rocks here. There is no vegetation, nothing anymore. This represents situation like a stasis or something like that, you know, a sleep or a transformation into the darkness. And we cannot take the light into the darkness, right? But we need a little bit of light here to survive. So this is why those who are here now in this darkness all have this light code. And this is also something why I tell you this, because we have the light within ourselves. And this is always the topic that comes up when people ask me about chakras. We don't need chakras, and chakras came later. That was an implant. We have centers, yes, absolutely. And the heart center, but that is within us when we are born. This is, you imagine, like macrocosmos and microcosmos is the same, or as above, so below. So in a way, this is our inner sun. And the sun is an energy source that never stops. It just is that. And this is the divine within us. And then the first primary centers that we have is actually the one in the brain, the one in the gut, that what I said. And then, of course, from there are many others too. But this is the main center that we are born with, and we don't need to open or close or whatever. It is within us. It is the energy source that we take with us, that is that connection, to our soul, to the soul, the divine being. And this was kind of very much condensed, became very small, so that we could really dive into this darkness. And now is the time that we are kind of opening this light source again. And one thing that really works and that is very powerful, actually, and let me stop sharing for a moment here, is like when you breathe into your heart and you see like this sun-like energy within your heart and you breathe into it, then it becomes conscious. So in a way, you bring the outer energy inside, but at the same time, the inside energy is unfolding, coming out. So imagine when you breathe into your heart that your inner light center is expanding. It's expanding, it's expanding, it's expanding bigger and bigger until you sit in a bubble of light about as far as you can stretch your arms. And this is like when you expand this heart energy outside, and this will feed everything in your body, will feed you. Now, once you have this energy open, you will also feel more energetical because you don't need to borrow any energy from the outside. The more you start to give to fill your aura, that this aura field with that light from within that you have, that you don't need to get from anywhere else. The breathing in is just a reminder that the sun outside and the sun inside is the same. As you know, we are all within that Maya, within that illusion. And that whatever we see outside of us is inside of us too. So once we connect with this energy and we spread it out, we become those lighthouses. And then the card that I just show you, the self-preservation card, can afterwards can awaken the divine, the knowledge, the wisdom can awaken within us again, and we don't need to look outside for it. And this is all, oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. And this is also the step to go into that centering. And all that helps in the moment and all what is coming, that we don't have to worry about it, that we have all that we need to go through this already within ourselves. And then what's coming is that the wisdom that was in preservation will wake up and will come back to us. So this is the reading for today, and to blow your mind is like, think about it. What do you feel? What chapter, what part of the world for you is exploding? And actually but a lot of people, they ask, oh, I have no idea why, what. But because you have these desires, you want to do something, or you feel like I'm not talking again. This is very difficult to differentiate again between the false metrics and what is real, because most people, they still go, oh, I want to help humanity, I want to help the earth. No, you cannot. You have to first become that lighthouse yourself, and then just like the sun, just shine. There is nothing wrong with the world. There's nothing wrong with what is happening. It's all moving forward as it's supposed to in this transformation time. Because we, from our perspective again, we just walk the road. We don't have the overview. We just have signed up for this role. Think about it. What is my role? What can I do really? how can I live to become that light? And that light then will attract people to you, that you can give them advice or help them, whatever. But don't go out now and think you have to save the world. You don't have to. You have to focus that energy on your self, and the self in a capital letter, so that your soul and your human being can come together, come very close together. That kind of energy gate, that is actually the portal that we need to open within ourselves, that our higher self, the soul self, and the ego, the personality self, can come together. Because in this moment, what is happening now, and I explained that also in my last video, but I just want to mention it here. We are not here only just to have an other incarnation, but we are here to complete them, to complete all the incarnation in the false matrix of 3D, the third dimension. Now, what is happening is all these other personalities, the essence of these personalities are all being dissolved, coming into you. And this will form the true wisdom. That does not mean that you have to know all about 100 past lives or whatever. It's the essence of it all that is coming together in this lifetime. And this will trigger the ascension for you, because we cannot take dark energy into a higher realm of the fifth dimension. It will be like a memory. It will be like the knowledge, the wisdom, no, not knowledge, the knowing. Knowledge is something we learn. Knowing is that inner knowing, that you gather that all together now to become whole, as the centering chord was showing you, the center, that everything is gathering now in the center, that you can move on, that you become that wing that can fly into a higher dimension. And here is the symbol of the overview. Then you see what really is happening. Okay, so I hope that helps you a little bit to understand the quality of time that we have in the moment. And yeah, fasten your seatbelt, it might go on. That something really intense is going to happen, either for the whole world or just for you or your uh, closer environment, whatever. But I think that something will shift in the world that will have an impact. Actually, it has already. Part of it has happened already. That has an impact on the whole humanity. Okay, I'm gonna do my next. This will be a reading with the stars. I look forward to see you again. Please give me a thumbs up, and have a nice day. Bye bye for now.